Okay, so I'm gonna just practice the Mixolydian mode, which is something I haven't practiced in years. And I just want to mention somebody I know keeps asking me, like, to give them, teach them guitar, but then they don't really want to learn because they don't want to be taught. They just want to sound cool and just play stuff straight off of YouTube. But anyway, I just wanted to point out one thing because when I teach people, I only point out one thing so at a time, not one thing all the time, the same thing, but just because there's a lot of people that want me to teach them that don't, are not able to understand too much of what I'm saying because they don't practice. They haven't been to taken any guitar classes, so they don't really understand much of. I don't know. They understand where to put their fingers and how the song goes, but then they start to play it too fast because they want to get through the song. So the one thing that I kept telling this person was, when you play a note, like, you have to remember to let that note ring. Like when a person speaks clearly and they pronounce their words. Like, for example, I went to college to study poetry, English, and I was, I wrote, I studied on my own how to write songs, like lyrics and stuff, which is very specialized books. But when you write guitar songs or you practice guitar, you have to like, this is only one note so that there's no confusion. You can't go beyond the note. You have a lot of people try to go beyond the note, and they're already on three different notes ahead, and they don't even pluck that note. They're just like, and then that's exactly where the people who are listening end up. So when you practice the scale, if you're practicing fast because you're doing position playing, or you're practicing because you want to get your hand properly so that the string doesn't buzz, or you want to find the right position for your hand that you can play this. Okay, so when I practice the scale now, I was just looking at it like for a few minutes before I started because I haven't been making any videos recently, so I'm kind of forcing myself. But so I decided to pick this harder to do scale, Mixolydian, and I'm trying to figure out how Jeff Beck was able to figure out whatever. Jeff Beck has a very special, unique sound, but I'm not trying to do Jeff Beck. This is the Jeff Beck scale, but it would take me a long time to figure out how he figured out how to write his stuff. But I'm just saying to remember to let the notes ring out before you move to the next note. You don't have to move to the next note if you're not feeling like. I teach in a direction that you play up or down. So if you're here, you might want to go. You might get stuck here because you're heading to the lower sound, but you want to go this way. The reason you get stuck because then you don't know where the notes are. I'm looking at the notes. That's why I know where the notes are. On this scale, I don't know where the notes are unless I read it. So I'm reading it. On the other scale, I know where the notes are without reading them. But this scale, I don't know this scale. So eventually, when you play around with it, you will hear it. I mean, first of all, you have to know how. If you don't know Jeff Beck, you have to listen to Jeff Beck. But anyway, you probably, if you play around with this scale, you'll start to hear some of his some of his notes. Not some of his songs, but because I don't know what he you know, he has a certain way of playing it. So in other words, I don't have to run through this scale and just hit all the notes. I can search the scale as I am right now, looking for, trying to understand Jeff Beck's idealism, his ideas about music. I mean, he picked a really hard scale to use. And, he was a good guitarist. If you see me freaking out, it's because my screen went blank all of a sudden, and then it started having the screensaver came on, and then that's why I went like this. Usually the screensaver doesn't work, and then now it's working too much, so I gotta fix that. Actually, let me fix it right now. This is great. Alright, so I think I fixed it. I put the screensaver on 10 minutes. So let's see here. So when I practice or when I look at the scale, I'm looking at the whole exploded view of all over the fingerboard. But what I'm looking for is the first box. And the first box is not always where they should tell you what the first box is. Like, for example, the first box to me is a certain shape. That's the first box. So on the Mixolydian scale, they're showing me the first box as the last box. So the reason I'm able to play faster, not super fast, I mean fast in terms of reading or memorizing a scale, is because I use that method of memorizing it that way, as I don't change the shapes of the scales, stay familiar. And when you go into a major scale, the scale, let's say this is the A Mixolydian, which is what it is. The A is on the 5th fret. So when I play guitar, the A for a major moves 2 steps lower from off of where the A is. So the shape of the scale has all the same notes as the last shape of the box, but it's positioned on the major 2 frets up. And when you play in different positions, different boxes, some boxes are major and some boxes are minor, because when you tear apart a scale, you have, for the A scale, you have 7 notes, and with every position of the note, of each note, there's a way that it tells you the first one is major, the second one might be minor. For any scale, there's a variance of what it has to be, whether it has to be major or minor. So when you play a major scale and you're playing, which is not over the A, which is the 5th fret, and the major position is, the first box is, according to what they write, is over the A, but according to me, the first box is wherever that shape lands. which is over the beat, and then that would probably be a major, but I don't have that in front of me right now. The Mixolydian scale telling me which notes are in the key of A, and so that's not what I'm trying to teach you right now, which one's major and which one's minor, and I'm trying to show you how I practice. So I'm looking at which notes to play. This is I'm on the wrong here. Okay, so here I am. I was on the wrong note. So this is the 7th fret. So that's how I search for a guitarist sound. So if there was a Mixolydian mode, I would imagine there's a pentatonic. Maybe I don't know what the combination is on a Mixolydian, but if there was a Mixolydian and it was here, I would probably combine it with an F sharp pentatonic. For an A Mixolydian mode, the reason I make that noise is because the person who lives above me is a hateful person and he keeps stomping, and when he does that it makes me feel like my throat just got stomped on. So I'm not doing that noise because I'm sick. I'm doing that noise because somebody keeps stomping on purpose, and it makes me feel like someone stomped on my throat. He's doing it, obviously to make me shut up, but he does it even when I'm not making noise. So, like a psychopath, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who wants to be an alpha male and harasses you, even when you're sleeping, to wake you up. But, so this is the A Mixolydian mode. I would probably try to combine it with an F sharp pentatonic. And I would use the F sharp as the lead. And I would use the A Mixolydian mode as the rhythm. Whatever. I don't know if there's a G in here. Let me see if there is a G in here. There is a. I'm making sure because I'm using a G, D, E, F. Yeah, there is a G in here. Alright, so when you hit an open string, you have to be sure that you're able to use that note. Wait. It's a D and a G, so is there a D in there? Yeah, there is. This B, C, D. Alright. Alright, so back to here. So that would be like the rhythm or the melody. Maybe more like the melody. Remember, this is kind of like a rock music stuff and Jeff Beck stuff that I was looking to see how to figure it out. But I'm not playing his stuff. I'm looking at the scale that he uses or use. And this is the F sharp pentatonic. The screen went black. Completely turned off the whole computer. Oh, I can't see nothing. Right? It is. I don't understand. I just fixed it. I can't even find what I was looking at. It's changed the screen.